If you're up tonight, I'll search through the darkness to find you, and I've arranged for the moon to guide you from here on out. I'm Taylor Phelan, and you're watching Sound Off with Sound Exchange. I grew up in a relatively musically inclined family, so it was always around. One thing that is just like right out of a movie that is just real for my family was that we would gather around the piano after Thanksgiving, meals, and my Aunt Mary would sit at the piano and she'd play, and everybody like pull out hymnals, and everybody sing in 4 and 5 part harmony. But I didn't ever really view it as more than just a hobby or something you kind of did like with family during the holidays, I kind of got tricked into singing in front of people when I was 16, and naturally, like every teenager, you're always, looking for something that you're good at, and people responded well, and so ever since I was 16, I just kind of ran with it. At some point along the way, I was offered a job to like play music and do that at a church, and I've been doing it, professionally ever since. The Voice audition for me was one of the more nerve-wracking, as you would assume, performances of my life. I really felt like my head was going to implode. So I don't know, I wasn't really focusing on them too much. It kind of took me a second to process that they had even turned around. But at some point during my performance, I did realize that obviously they had all turned around, and so I tried to settle into, the fact that I had made it on the show and that I shouldn't be nervous anymore, but I still couldn't get past it. It was just, there was so much adrenaline. And then it was also really nerve-wracking because immediately after I finished performing, I realized, holy crap, I have to pick one of them now. Now, I have to make a decision, and I thought that was going to be pretty easy. I thought that I was going to pick Adam going into it, and man, Pharrell is just such a likable dude. He's such a sweet guy. And honestly, Blake almost got me too. I was, because he's so endearing, and I really didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't know what to do here. So I chose Pharrell because he's a genius. Man, it's tough. I mean, I would say that's the hardest part of being a touring musician specifically. I mean, it's awesome because the majority of the year I get to be home and I get to work from home and I get to write and work in my home office. But that smaller portion out of the year where I have to be out of town for 2-3 weeks on end is really tough. I released the first half of this. It was all one record at first, and we did, again, because of the way that people consume music, we decided to divide it in two. And I released the first half this past summer. Cleverly, I named it One of Two. I got tired of trying to think of names. So 2 of 2 is coming in the spring of this year. I don't know if there's necessarily a common thread between the songs on 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. I'd like to say that there was some rationality behind how I split them up. I mean, obviously I thought about it, but I don't know. There's something about these that feel very anthemic, almost like cinematic in a way. And I think that if there is a thread, that's probably the one that carries over to 2 of 2. And I like the second half better. I'm looking forward to the second half better.